Passion our purpose, profit our pain. I don't want my name to ever be in vain. A life full of substance is the only thing that will remain the same. Millennial thoughts. Welcome back to Millennial Thoughts. It's your girl Alicia. Today we have Eric, who will be
Mhm.
sharing his relocation, story, moving from Chicago to Atlanta.
Mhm.
So thanks for joining me
Thank you.
today.
Thank you.
I gave away one of the questions already,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I, I wanted to know what made you move from Chicago to Atlanta.
Well, I'm gonna shorten out. This was for me to grow. Um, I seen just being in that space up there, it was not helping me grow.
Mhm.
And I kept feeling it was time for me to move, and I wasn't being observant to me moving. And
Mhm.
I just kept on seeing the signs spiritually just kept coming, and different signs kept coming for me to move. And I prayed about it, and I started having conversations with people who were close, my best friend that I was talking to, and it was certain things that was being spoke about for me to come here. So I just made the transition for me to come out here, and I came out here, and I said, I'm gonna make this happen. Pretty much. I didn't look back. I pretty much had this. I don't want to be in the same place as where I was, because where I was not happy.
Okay, okay, that's good. Were you born and raised in Chicago?
No, but I feel like I
Oh.
was rebirthed there. And the reason why I could say that is because when I moved to the city, when I like, let's say 15, 16, around there,
Mhm.
and then I stayed all the way to like 18, 19, and then I moved to St. Louis. So to be honest with you, just a lot of people that I've came across. There's a lot of people that I've met that have lived in Chicago and St. Louis, and they call it home. So I ended up being one of those people that called St. Louis home, because I lived in the same amount of time of me
Mhm.
living in St. Louis for that period. And then I left and I went back to the city and I was living in Chicago. And then finally things just kept coming, kept coming, kept coming. And, it was just, uh, you know,
Did you like living in St. Louis?
um, yes and no. Um, I say this all the time, and just like any city, every city has its good and its bad, it's ugly. But
Mhm.
I feel like there's a lot of stuff in St. Louis that's kind of like in a place of where do we go? A
Of
lot.
what?
It's the energy of where do we go?
Oh.
A lot. Everywhere you are is where do we go? Where do you want to go? Versus
Mhm.
like, we know where we're going. We have an idea. It's a lot of times in conversation, really no one knows. And then you have politicians that want to do whatever they're doing, city leaders what they want to do, a lot of musicians and stuff like that do what they can. But I feel like as a whole, St. Louis has grown, but it's still stuck.
Mhm.
So that's why a lot of people have moved, because they don't really see um, the change, and the growth that can be really there. And don't get it wrong. I really love St. Louis. St. Louis is a key important part of my life as much as Chicago, but Chicago added more value to me because
Mm.
it made me hustle. It made me grind. It really had me to get outside and get it.
Mhm.
I wasn't in the
Oh,
streets or
okay.
anything like that. You know, you talk to certain people that from up there, they be like, "Yeah, I'm on the block."
He wasn't talking about that.
I ain't on the block. I don't like being around people. I know stuff that go on or whatever, but I did not like being around people. So why would I put myself in harm's way for stuff that did not make sense to me? Like I only bet I was around people when it came down to work and certain things that came down to anything with the music and the business. But
Mhm.
outside of that, like me trying to party or me be on whatever time that was, that time I was not. So I ain't gonna lie to nobody and say I'm affiliated with this and that. I do know people or whatever, whatever, but I was not out there on the block throwing up this or doing that. Nah. Mm-mm. So when it came down to the mentality of Chicago, for me, it was just more hustle and grind. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It was pretty much what the song said from the the artist, do or die. You either gonna do it, or you gonna do or die. So that's pretty much that. That's what that mentality gave me. But once I moved, I didn't have that. I still got that get up and grind and do or die, but I was more in that survival mode. A lot of people up there still in survival mode. It don't matter how much money they make. They can make, six, 6 to 7 figures, right?
Mhm.
But they still got that mentality. I ain't about to go back to where I was at. The
Mhm.
block mentality, the street mentality. Not knocking anybody that you know what I'm saying? Been from there. I got cousins that still, doing what they do, so they don't go back to that because they know that life. You feel me? So
Mhm.
down to that aspect, it's more so Chicago is a place that will build a lot of character out of you.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I hear
Chicago
you.
is one of those places you have to be prepared for everything. Every
Mhm.
you don't know what's gonna happen. So that's what ended up happening with me my whole entire time I was up there. I never put myself in a position, if I could help it, that I was not prepared.
Okay. So then what inspired your growth for you wanting to relocate to Atlanta, and how did you specifically choose Atlanta?
I mean, of all places in the world, I feel like it was a thing that kept calling me, even before I started knowing people, like how I know
Mhm.
people now. I started coming down here when I was younger on my own. The first time I came down here, I think I was like 21 with my church, to be honest.
Mhm. Okay.
2021, and then that's when I knew I was like, yeah, I want to come back. But I kept on listening to people. The conversation is, oh, there's too many gay people, is this and that.
Oh.
But what does that have to do with me?
Mhm.
Don't push that on me saying that's what I am, whatever the case is. And people have their own private lives. So I don't have conversations with people saying, oh, don't move there because of this. Move because
Mhm.
that makes you happy.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
So,
saying? So
do you feel like you're more happy in Atlanta?
I am happy. I'm happy out here in Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I am. I will say that my mentality definitely changed. And I feel like the people I came across from back home, they have that same feeling. Honestly, the people I met from the city, from Chicago, they don't have that mentality of how they was back up there. Of
Mhm.
course, they still in do or die. I gotta get it. Gotta hustle and grind, but they not like how they were.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole difference. You could tell a lot of the thing, a lot of things that they talk about. Even when you are right there physically with them, you could tell that they have a different aura to them. Their energy is way different from how they was up there.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
You don't feel like you gotta hustle and grind down here though?
You do, you do,
Mhm.
you do. But the mentality and the hustle and the grind for Atlanta is you can make it. Yeah, you gotta watch your surroundings, and that's everywhere around the world. But it's not this energy that pull at you. The minute
Mhm.
you walking down any street in Chicago, you could be around nowhere. It don't matter where you at, you're gonna have this energy just pull at you because there's so many things that's happening. This it's a spiritual vortex, to be honest with you. And it's
In Chicago.
energy. Yes. There's spiritual vortex that pull at you every single time with where you at. And you be like, yo, what's going on?
Mhm.
You have to check your energy so you don't, feed into whatever is going on. Not saying you're gonna go out there and do something crazy, but it's like if you're an empath, you're gonna feel that energy.
Mhm.
You're definitely gonna feel that energy. So being in a place like Georgia, you will feel that type of energy, but it's not as heavy.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
very heavy. Like
Chicago.
in different parts of the city, south side, heavy.
Mhm.
West side, heavy. North side, depending where you at, is heavy. Definitely east side is heavy. It's just because there's so much stuff that's been going on for the last couple of years, and there's so much stuff that's not been healed. There's a lot of things that have not been healed. There's a lot of things that have not passed on, and there's a lot of people that carry grudges over and over and over and over and over. So what does that do in the sense of energy? It stays in there instead of it being now. The energy can leave. So now it's spreading onto people if they're not careful on what they're receiving. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
know what is what, they're not gonna receive that. They're not gonna feed in that type of energy. It's almost the same thing for St. Louis too, but I really feel like more heavy in Chicago
Mhm.
for real.
Uh-huh. Well, do you like relocating? Do you feel like you always relocate in a sense for like spiritual growth, or like
Yeah,
even like you
yeah,
feel like that's
yeah,
when you're ready to go?
yes. I really do because I feel like as a person,
Uh-huh.
you're never gonna be um one to say, I'm done. God has to have that final say so and say, I'm done. Because you could go and say, "Oh, I'm about to live in Georgia for the rest of my life," and God could say, "No, I want to send you to Botswana." And you be like, "I don't want to go to Botswana, God. I'm not going to Botswana, God." And then you get the signs, and the signs keep telling you, "Oh, go to Botswana," "Oh, I want to go to
Mhm.
Botswana," or you get that sign, "Oh, well, I need to go to Frankfurt." Why am I going to Frankfurt? Junior? I don't know nobody over there. But God always remind you, it don't matter where you're going to be sent. Just be in that presence of knowing that God is there with you.
How do you feel like
Hmm.
people could see the signs? Like how do you know what signs are telling you to go where? Like if somebody's listening to this, they're like, okay, is this a sign, is this not a sign? Like what was some signs that you feel like you had?
Well, for me, it
Mm-hmm.
was a conversation a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out and about. I'm going to some of these networking events. I'm on, you know, TV or watching while I was watching TV, you know, I started seeing all this stuff come up from Atlanta. All this news stuff. It was on Chicago TV talking about certain things. And during the pandemic, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people from Chicago moved down here.
Mm-hmm.
So the conversations end up going around different places to say, hey, yeah, I moved down to Atlanta. I got this going on in Atlanta. I started my business. So everybody that had something going on for themselves, and they knew people down there, like family or different relatives or whatever, they was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'm coming. Got whatever they needed to get done and started to do what they needed. So that inspired the change also within me because then that was the sign. Okay, I need to go elsewhere. I think it is Georgia. Then I started seeing the license plates. And that was
Mm-hmm.
the thing when I started moving around. The more I kept on seeing a license plate or something that said to whatever that city or that place was, then I
Mm-hmm.
knew God was speaking to me. And then even in dreams. So a lot of times it was just me fighting it because I was so, oh no, I don't wanna go, I don't wanna go, I don't wanna go.
Mhm.
Kept on seeing it. The more I kept on seeing it, I was like, okay, I think it's time. And the moment I just said, I'm gonna get on this plane and not look back, I just really just looked at my life is not gonna be the same.
Mhm.
My life is not gonna be what I had left it in Chicago on Kedzie over there on the south side. It's not gonna be that. Wherever I go, it's gonna be completely different. It's gonna help me evolve. It's gonna help me change. It's gonna help me mature. And I definitely feel with me being here, it's helped me do that. So when I do go back, and if I have business going on, or whenever God send me to go back up there, I'm not gonna be the same person that I left. I could be a better person now.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I think with me being here, honestly, this is part of the assignment. This is part of my mission for me to
Mhm.
be here.
Do you feel like within the transition from Chicago to Atlanta, you had a lot of support, or do you feel like you have a great support system here in Atlanta?
Honestly, I feel with being here, I have a support system, but it's not as big as I thought it would have been.
Mhm.
And I feel that's okay because at one point in time when I was in the city, I was like, yo, I know this person from over there. I know that person over from there. I was just going crazy because I was like, yo, I could literally call anybody know around the city and be like, yo, I'm finna be on 55th, or I'm
Mhm.
finna be on 95th, or I'm finna be on 87th, or I'm be on 79th, and then turn around, shoot, I go all the way to 35th, and just from 35th, I'm on 21st, and the 21st, I'm all the way on the west side now. So then I'm on Pulaski, and Pulaski turned into Kedzie, the Kedzie turned into saying Madison, and then from there I kept on. I can keep going. I'm on the north side now. I'm on
Mhm.
Auburn. I'm on. I said Chicago Avenue. All of that stuff turned into now. I'm on Lincoln Park. Go further up, I'm in Rogers Park, Andersonville. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff. So I think really what I'm saying is that I don't have that here. I can't go and be like, oh, I can go to somebody in Stone Mountain and be like, yo, help.
Mhm.
I don't have that,
Yeah.
which is okay because now it's more so I have to depend on God so God can show me how I could depend on the right help to help me.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. I love that actually. It's definitely hard to find that support system in the
Yeah,
new cities when you relocate and stuff like that. I feel like that's
yeah.
something that I'm
But
going
not saying I don't have nobody out here.
Mhm.
At times it feel like that, but I do have people I can,
It's
like
just not like an
yeah.
influx like you did in Chicago.
No, it's not. It's
Mhm.
not. It's not like all over. It's like I could call somebody in McDonough I know, or I call somebody maybe in like Jonesboro or somebody in Decatur or somewhere in Atlanta, but not how I had it in Chicago. Literally, I could call anywhere around the city to where it could spread all the way into Indiana and go all the way and spread out to Wisconsin. That's how crazy my network is still.
Mhm.
Far as it being here, I don't have that type of network full of supportive friends or relatives, or I don't have that strong.
Mhm.
And
So
it's
you feel like you're
okay
still trying to
because
build
now
it.
God is reminding me it don't matter how big it is or how small it is, as long as it is there.
Mhm.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I like that. So yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people move for opportunities and
Yeah.
different things like that. I heard earlier say that you did music and stuff. Do
Hmm.
you feel like the opportunities that you've had that was offered were great, or do you feel like you're still searching for these opportunities? Because I don't know if you like already had a job when you came down here, or if you didn't have a job and you was looking for it. Like, how was that process?
Well, being in music itself, it doesn't matter if you have a 9 to 5. It does to some and some it doesn't. Well, I can speak on this because I've had a 9 to 5. I still have a 9 to 5 and I still do music. So
Mhm.
therefore it doesn't matter um as in the opportunities is being better in Chicago as it's Atlanta. I think equally the same. It's just about how everything is structured. I think there's not a structure as it should be in Chicago. I think
Mhm.
it's more structured because now there is a complete industry. Not saying there's not an industry up there in Chicago, there's definitely industry up there. But there's more of the industry that the world looks to down here in Atlanta.
When it comes to music.
Yes, music, entertainment, all of that. But majority all the time it's music. You have people from all over the world that do music and come to Atlanta. Some of them don't even go to New York, they don't go to LA, they come right to Atlanta.
Mhm.
And it shows a lot. At one point in time, there were people coming from all over the world to do music in Chicago.
Mhm.
But now I would say it's kind of 50-50 far as opportunities. It's more the structure, honestly. And I think it's more of a stability factor also because you can make money doing music anywhere. But it's been known that for me, when I first got here and I was still doing my 9 to 5 and stuff and making, money and stuff like that, I started seeing like there's so many branches into different networks that have multiple opportunities all in one. And I feel like there's not a whole lot of people here that gatekeep. There's too many gatekeepers up in the city of Chicago because they don't want too much to go through, which is understandable. But then they're holding a lot of good talent for it to come back through the gates, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of artists that sing and rap and all of that stuff. They'll never get the chance to get played on the radio because of whatever is put in place. Fives here, they'll get played out here quicker.
Mhm. Okay.
So I
Respect.
feel also too the one of the things that I noticed with me living out here now. Well, let me rephrase not never. It's just basic communication and having that right type of relationship. But majority of the time, a lot of the artists that are really, 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 really good do not get the airplay. You know what I'm saying? That's files up in the city. Now, if they do, that's a absolute blessing. Because again, like I'm saying, it's a lot of politics. It's more politics when it comes to the music in Chicago versus here. There's a more of an openness. It's like, okay, you're good. Okay, cool. Let me see what you got.
Mhm.
So there's more opportunities. I'm putting it in perspective, and what I'm talking about is more opportunity to advance in what career path that you have, especially for music. It might take a while, but at least that you can see some growth from it. You can make something out of it. You can make money. Even if you're doing open mics or you're doing the showcases and stuff, whatever the case is, you can make money.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying. What? And you said you do music. What type of music? I guess do you do? Or do you play an instrument?
I'm more in the sense of being behind the scenes.
Okay.
So I started as a music producer. I'm still by my own right and the way I feel, I'm a music producer, but I don't make the beats as I had before, or if I have
Mhm.
to. I know a lot of artists that are super talented. They have the best creative skills possible. So I feel as me still being a music producer and I've been stepping more into this role for me being a PM, a project manager for the last couple of years, I would literally say maybe like going 2 years, 2 to 3 years, honestly, as a project manager, that I can like say, yeah, this is what I am. Because first I was
Mhm.
saying I'm a music producer, but then I started noticing all the stuff I'm doing has more levels and more things that have to be organized and more things that have where It requires intense planning. So that's when I
Mhm.
started saying that. It's like, I know what I am now. Because at first I did it. I kept on telling myself I'm a music producer and telling people
Mhm.
music producer, but I don't have no beats. So
Mhm.
then I had to start looking at it. What kind of producer am I? What kind of manager am I? So then I had to, put that together. But that's pretty much what I am. I'm a project manager.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
music project manager.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, you just like move. You can move really anywhere, and you don't really have to think about like
Mm-mm.
a job because you could kind of take your job with you. So that's really good.
Yeah, and
Um.
even on a 9 to 5, I have a lot of stuff with me knowing project management and
Mhm.
customer service related skills, and put all
Mhm.
that together. I'm still able to thrive into different industries. And if they ask, "Hey, can you take on this project?" or "Woo, woo, woo," I can, assist in whatever the angle is. So then when it
Mhm.
comes down to music, I have where I know, okay, majority of the I focus on is just looking at the presence. Because I look at the person and their presence. Where are they? And where do they see themselves at? Then when I know and I see where they're at, I can put a situation together and say, okay, this is what we can do. This is how we can do it better. And then I also assess, okay, this is the things that you're not doing.
Mhm.
The things is why you haven't been able to grow. But this is what we could do to make it where you can grow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And I know Chicago. I know you said you're in the suburbs. Chicago and Atlanta are definitely different when it comes to living and stuff like that,
Yes.
and transportation, and different things.
Yeah.
So when you like, did you do public transportation in Chicago a lot?
Yeah. I did.
And so coming to Atlanta, how did that like change, or how do you figure out like knowing what to do in the next city, or how to figure out that process? Cuz down here in the Atlanta area, like the public transportation is not as good as it is in more northern states. So is that something that you felt like was a hindrance, or you just was like, I'm going to figure it out?
Honestly, it was first in my thought that was a bit of a hindrance, but I just looked at it that this is for me to push myself harder. Because once I was in the city, I was like, I need to start driving. But
Mhm.
not everybody had a car because it's
Mhm.
so freaking expensive. Because Chicago taxed every single thing. It
Oh.
made a lot of people like, all right, well, if I ain't on nobody insurance or I ain't making this type of money, if I ain't making, where I have two jobs or this X, Y, and Z, there's no need because I'm already paying all this stuff in rent. I'm paying all that stuff in your utilities, and a lot of the properties that you would rent from did not have anything included. So you're stuck with the ComEd bill that was so freaking high. You're like trying to challenge it. Then you had to
Mhm.
pay. Then you had, people's gas that would be on the same type of time. You're like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to pay it. So, just a lot of different life expenses made it to where it's like, okay, do I have enough money for a car? Now, me living in Atlanta now, having this conversation, all it really takes is just, all right, knowing the right person. But it's the same thing up there. But you really just got to know the right person. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
As far as driving and all that. But going back also into the conversation as far as transit, Atlanta has developed their transit system and duplicated a lot of things that Chicago has, and a lot of things that has New York, and a lot of things has other cities. And I would say that it's a lot harder to get around um different areas here in Atlanta in the
Mhm.
area versus in Chicago. You could literally take a pace bus, end up in Wisconsin, like that far.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
could literally
Mhm.
take another pace bus and be somewhere
Yes. Uh-huh.
past all the way in Gary and be all the way
Mhm.
out there to where now you're like, How did I get all the way to Maryville? You know what I'm saying? You could
Uh-huh.
go from being at the Harvey, Dalton, Hazel Crest, Timmy Park, all that stuff, Southside, and do the same thing that you be at Elmhurst and all that out west. You know what I'm saying?
That
Burwood.
is so funny that you said that. The girl I interviewed right before you, she's from Maryville, Indiana. She's like, yeah, I lived 45 minutes away from Chicago. So I think that's so funny.
Yeah,
That you're
because
saying that.
it's not that far. Like if you
Mm-hmm.
really, really wanted to, you could take public transit some type of way to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that it's gonna go all the way there, but you can get to where shoot, I could take a lift from where I'm gonna be at.
And
And
then go.
yeah,
Okay. You about
versus
to be the
either
poster child for Chicago.
oh, they gonna pay me real soon for advertising.
Period. Okay, I
I'm
feel
telling
it.
you,
I'm
because
trying
every time people be
whatever.
pitching my name when I was having where people was saying that Dachai or
Mm-hmm.
Dachi, I was telling people it's the shot. But then I got out of it. I like you just call me Eric. It's simple. Just do that.
Yeah,
Well,
I wouldn't say your name wrong. But yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So
Okay, yeah, but I'm like, I need somebody to tell me because I'm over here putting these cities on the map. I need a check, a commercial, I need a sponsorship and everything. So
oh
that's funny.
yeah. Oh
How
yeah.
long have you been in the Atlanta area?
My end of actually I ain't been here that long. It seems like I've been here longer. And I only been here now 2 years.
Oh,
I'm still
2 years. 2 years is a long time. I've been here for like 2.5 years. So who child? Um,
see, it
and
seemed like it goes so fast. Like you've been here 5 years, 7 years. The people who had conversation, like I ran into like different people I know from New York. I've been out here 10 years. I'm like, I only been out here two.
yeah, they do be like that. 10. I'm like, okay, you've been out here a
You
little too
you
long for me, but
you
hey,
been
it's
out here
none of my
for a
business.
minute. I just only been here
Hmm.
for like two, and my anniversary is coming up in March. I'm deciding what I'm gonna do, and a good friend of mine came down here with her friends and she came down. I actually used to help, manage her and stuff what she was doing with her projects and stuff.
Hmm.
And she came down here. Uh she goes by Miss Muffy. So she came down here, she had an interview with Carisha. Shout out to Carisha. And another artist by Addictive. Shout out to her too. And they came and they performed. And it
Oh.
was like out of the blue. I'm at work. They're like, "Hey, where you at?" Woo, woo, woo. Muffy called me. Woo. Where we here? I like, what? And I look at the date. I'm like, oh, this is my anniversary date. I'm talking to my best friend and stuff like happy anniversary. Woo. I started to everybody I knew that I worked with, and it was all happy anniversary. So yeah, yeah, my anniversary day coming March
So
31st
you have to be lit.
again. I was so lit, yo. I was so lit. I admit, I don't know how many people. I forgot the name of the place. I was gone. I remember when I left up out of there. I had got me some Waffle House. Went back to where I was at. Gone, gone. So
um,
yeah, 2 years in Atlanta. My anniversary coming up.
that's exciting.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
now we're gonna get into like the money of the interview.
Okay.
Did you save any money before you relocated, and if so, how much?
See, I've had conversations like this with people that were from the city, and they say, "Oh, I had this type of money, or I didn't have this type of money." And with me, I saved a good amount.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, I feel like I could have did a lot better financially. Where
Hmm.
I could have been down here loaded. You feel me? Could came down here loaded like I'm talking about. I look at the count. Oh, okay, I'm good today. I don't even want to look at it. I'm good. Yeah, I had those moments, but I could really had those moments to where I could have had at least about what I'm saying, a good 10 grand. You feel me? A good past seven. But I came down here with what I had, and it stretched.
Hmm.
But now revisiting it and now having this conversation with you, I feel like if I would have came down here with at least a good seven to close to that 10, and I would have really pushed, I'd have been cool. But life is life and life can be
Uh-huh.
fast. So, you just do what you can. So I came down here with a good amount of money. I
Mhm.
stretched it. I was working, and then that's
That's
it.
that's good. That's good. So when you moved down here, did you think about like how much apartments was and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
um
yeah. Honestly, there was no difference. I kept on, oh, it's cheaper to live in Atlanta. It's cheaper to live. I'm like, it's no difference. Honestly, once I started moving around, there's no difference. There's
mhm
really no difference because you could be somewhere on the south side and pay something
mhm
here, and you paying 950. I'm like, it's just no difference.
yeah, definitely. Do you know how well when you came, do you remember how much one bedrooms were?
They went up. They definitely went up.
Uh-huh.
I know there's some that's still the same price. It's just typical price, 1,000. Some is still 1,100. But there's some now that's just ridiculous. It's like
Oh, definitely. They 1,700, 1,800 now. But that's
two,
just
no, no,
within
no, 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 2,000,
oh,
2,100.
yeah, well that's true. And it's like just within 2 years, like it's skyrocketed. Like
Yeah, 2,100. I didn't see stuff that's 3,000. Even when I was looking just to be looking what was going on like downtown Atlanta, doing
mhm.
comparison. I was like, this is crazy. This is what everyone is paying downtown San Francisco, downtown LA,
Mhm.
downtown New York, like Manhattan, all of that stuff.
Right. And I'm like, Atlanta don't offer half of the stuff that all the other big cities offer.
No,
I'm sorry. And I'm
no,
not paying that much money.
no. I'm cheap. I'm sorry. I don't care how
No.
much money I make. I don't care where the millionaire status is for me. I don't like to spend money unless I
Okay.
really
I
want.
feel like that is what's wrong. It's like just because you have the money don't mean you have to spend it and pay $2,500 for no
I'm not.
rent.
I'm
Like
not.
that's
I'll
ridiculous.
go live in a tiny house if we really get that real.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
serious.
for real. Did you think about when you moved, or I don't know if you do, have
Mhm.
any? But did you think about having roommates and stuff like that? Were you like, no, I'm moving out by myself. I'm living alone.
Well, let me be honest with you. To be in Atlanta,
Mhm.
because I lived in South Side on the South Side where I had no roommates and I had people come all the time. Ooh. But when I came down here, when I started seeing how things were moving, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm at to get a roommate type of situation where it's
Uh
kind of
huh.
exclusive, and
Yeah.
that's what I ended up doing. You know what I'm saying? And been rocking it out ever since. It's been peaceful. I know this season is gonna change to where I'm gonna have a bigger place and all of that. So
Mhm.
I'm in a better space than I was before. You know what I mean? Speaking on where I was at,
When you
I'm
first
still
came,
in a
yeah.
space of everything is close, which is
Mhm.
what I wanted.
Mhm.
So that's the great thing. I'm still close to everything. I could literally walk to Walmart, which is the equivalent of me walking to like Pete's grocery store. I could literally walk to like Walgreens. It's also the equivalent where I could walk to 55th and walk up to 63rd. We're not gonna get on that 63rd conversation. We're not. We're not. It's hard to like 63rd. I like no. Keep going. I'm not talking about 53rd. Don't keep going. I'm not gonna do that. Everybody from Chicago now be hearing 63rd. Be like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. We're not. We're
I
not.
am cracking up.
We're not doing that today. Anybody that's probably listening to Chicago, or if I send this out to y'all already know you don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that. Y'all want to hear something else. And then because y'all reminded about your cousins, how bad they ass over there, and they didn't. Yeah, that's a whole different other conversation. But anyway,
Okay. So do you feel like you've been here for 2 years? So do
mhm.
you feel like what you moved for has came to fruition?
In a sense, yes. In a sense, no, because honestly, I feel now as time has gone and progressed, I had to learn how to just be.
Mhm.
Just had to learn how to just be. You know what I'm saying? I jumped into a lot of things. I wanted to get up in a relationship. I wanted to do all these business moves, and it was not time. It was not time. So I had to like fall back a bit and just get myself together. I'm still doing that as we speak. I'm still digging within myself to find things that I can find that it's not going to hinder me. That's not going to slow my progress. So I feel honestly, um, It's probably one of the best things I could have did was move here.
Oh, okay, well that's good.
Yeah, I'm not done moving yet. I already know that.
Oh, that was my next question. Okay,
Yeah,
well you answered that, so you're gonna move again.
I don't know
Okay.
when,
Mhm.
but it's gonna happen soon.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think I'm gonna still be in Georgia. I know that for certain.
Oh, you're just gonna move like to a different city or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, not now. No, no, no,
Mhm.
not now. But eventually that'll happen. But then if I get that call, Europe, Africa, I'm gone. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm gone. First flight with a whole bunch of money. Phone off. Don't call me for a few days. I'm eating some food. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on nothing. I'm sleep, eating.
I am cracking up. You're hilarious. That's funny.
I'm serious
Um,
though.
yeah, so as we're wrapping up, I do want to say thank you so
Yes.
much for being a part. Don't
Thank
want
you.
to take up too much of your time. But my last
Yes,
question
thank you.
is, do you have any relocation advice or tips for the people who are listening?
Honestly, the best thing I always tell people, because I had this conversation, I know I should make it like where honestly it is a personal choice. Number one, don't let your friends and family come in intertwine and make your decision be their decision unless you really value and you have that relationship to where you like, all right, cool, I'm gonna think this through. I don't feel that that's gonna da 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 da. But if you are really wholeheartedly, God is telling you move and the spirit is leading you to move, then do it. Because the worst thing you could do is to sit in a place and then you sit in a place and you'll still be reminded why you should have left.
That's deep.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Just move because it's the right thing that's speaking you to do.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah, I like that. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much for being a
yeah,
part of the podcast.
for sure.
Really appreciate it. And I
Thank
know that
you.
you have your own podcast as well. So if
Yes,
you would like to share with them your podcast and what it's
yes.
about, you can let the people know.
Oh, for sure. Well, my podcast is called Mental Blockage. I've been working on it for I don't know how long. Actually, speaking of 2 years, 2 year anniversary. I just looked at my results and my analytics and all of that, and it's coming up 2 year anniversary for that too as well. So
Oh, that's great.
thank you. So
Hmm.
mental blockage, still been working at it, putting some stuff together. It's all on Spotify. I was beefing with Apple Podcasts. Apple, I don't know if you're listening, whoever is connected with Apple, I would deeply like to apologize right here on this podcast right here. I really would like to apologize because I was telling people I don't fool with y'all because y'all didn't have my podcast on there. But I know you got her podcast on there, so that's cool. So anybody that's listening,
I'm cracking up.
go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit a like, hit a heart, hit a share, do what you gotta do. And yeah,
Yes, I'm cracking up. Well, yes, thank you
mhm,
so much for being a part of this.
thank you
And yeah, just looking forward to connecting, you
for
know,
sure.
another time. So yeah, thank y'all for listening. If y'all would like, check in the description. There'll be a link to a relocation series that you can grab and also a consultation. Thanks. Have a great day whenever y'all listen to this. Bye.
Bye.